Good morning, welcome back to live shopping here at Highlight Crafts. My name is Mel, I'm going to be your host for this hour. We've got Ethan on cameras. Yes. We've got Lewis in the driving seat.
Hello.
And we've got Lily, who is all ready and set up to show you exactly how these templates work, which is cool, isn't it?
It certainly is. Hello.
Oh, she's off.
There you go. And it's a Friday morning. It's a lot of energy for a Friday morning, wasn't it?
Got loads of energy this morning.
Yeah, I know. Sprung out of bed. We're ready.
We are ready and willing to educate. Shall we put it that way?
Mm-hmm.
Right, let me get the boring bit out of the way first. Where to watch us and how to shop, and then we can show you exactly what we've got on the show for you. So, Highlight Crafts and live shopping. We're in the studios Monday to Friday, and we do 8 till 2. And then Monday to Thursday, we also do 6 till 7 in the evening. And then on a Saturday morning, we go live at 8 and we finish at 1. But there are always repeats as well on there. So when we're not live, we tend to put repeats out. Also, if you go to YouTube, search Highlight Crafts, click playlists and live, every show that we've ever done will be on there. So if you've missed a demo or you've missed a show, go and have a look on YouTube because they're all there, which is brilliant, isn't it? Now, speaking of YouTube, that is one of several platforms where you can watch us. You can also watch us on our Facebook and Instagram, and you can also watch us on our website, which is highlightcrafts.com. Now, there's different ways of shopping. So the 3 platforms you can shop on are Facebook, Instagram, and the website. To shop on the website, you literally pop on over to highlightcrafts.com, press watch live, press play, and as soon as that show starts to stream, all the items that are available in that show will appear down the right hand side of your screen. You then just select the ones that you want to buy, and they'll go into a little red shopping bag that will appear at the top of your screen. Now, when you've got your basket full of your goodies and you're happy and you're ready to check out, you're going to log into your account first, because that means that you get your club member discounts, and then you can check out those baskets. Now, you can also watch us on our social platforms. It's slightly different shopping there, but super easy. You can watch all the demos. You don't need to go anywhere else to shop. And all you need to do is every product that I show you will have a code, and that code will appear on your screen. So there's 2 bold words that are on the screen right now, shop stencils. That's what you would type in if you wanted to buy the whole collection that we've got for you today. And that will automatically put that product into a basket for you, and then you'll get a direct message. When you open that message, you'll find a link. If you click that, that will take you to highlightcrafts.com, where you log in first and then you check out those baskets. Now, if you'd like notifications before each show, just type the word live into the comments underneath the video, and that will give us permission to send you a little ping, which is great, so that you know that you're not going to miss out on anything. And you can also shop ahead. So from midnight, all the deals go live. Now, we do have a giveaway code, which is WIN, and Lily's going to give away something. Also, if you type the word treat in there in the comments, it will give us permission to send you a little notification or about what we're doing next Wednesday evening. So next Wednesday evening, we're extending the hours. We're going from 6 till 7:30. We've got 3 separate shows, half an hour each, with incredible deals and extra special treats for our club members. You do not want to miss those shows. Seriously, it's brilliant what we're doing, and you'll see everything. You'll see us moving in between shows because it's all set up as one big campaign, which is going to be a lot of fun. Right, let me introduce you to what we've got today, first of all. So I'm going to do them individually. There is a bundle for all of them as templates and as SVG files, but you can also buy them separately. So first of all, your cake box. How fabulous is this? Now, it doesn't have to be a cake box, does it? You can put whatever you want. Sweet treats in there will be great. You decorate this up as Halloween and punch 2 holes there, put a little string on it, and you've got your trick-or-treat box, haven't you? Turn it that way round, make a little box that goes on the bottom. That's your Christmas tree. Now, imagine making 24 of those. You could have them in different sizes, making a little box at the bottom, or using construction weight acetate if you don't want to make a box, covering it with the papers, and you could have your advent calendar with this. How cool is that? I love this design. I actually like it. If I ever do cards where I'm not using die cuts or reflections, I love just cutting triangles and putting a little rectangle at the bottom. They look really quirky, quite Scandi. So if you want the templates for those, they're these two. So that's your cake, and this piece is your sides, your top panel. So you can see top panel there, and then this panel will do that, the sides, the tab that joins that together, the back of it, and the tabs that join that together. So 2 pieces of mylar for this one. Okay, so if you want that, it is shop cake, $8.99 if you just want that one by itself. If you want the, that's all of them, right? That's not SVGs. That's all of them. No, that's the bundle. There you go, $6.99 for your SVG. Now, Lily came up with a good idea as well. That could be a little carrot for Santa. Couldn't it? Right? It's great, isn't it? Brilliant. Right, next one. Now, this is lovely. If you've just watched the previous show with those lovely snowflakes and songbooks, imagine this with all the choir stood here. How cool is that going to look? It's brilliant, isn't it? Love this one. So your templates for this are these. And Lily's going to go through all of this with you. So you've got your different templates. You've got your middle layer. Also what we do is, if you can see that, turn it around that way, right way around, it shows you whether to cut or score. So it actually tells you on the template which way to use it. So you're getting that, and then you're getting all your pieces that slot in to create that shelf card. It's fabulous, isn't it? So that is shop shelf. If you want it as an SVG file, it is shop card, $6.99. We've got a deal, okay? So if you want all of them, we've got a deal. So just hang fire a minute. Then we've got our teacup and saucer. How gorgeous is that? Isn't that lovely? Fabulous, isn't it? Just fill with your flowers. But you could fill it with all sorts of different things, couldn't you? I just think that's really sweet. If you went out and got some really nice like fruit teas or herbal teas, you could put them in here, wrap it with some cellophane. That'd be gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Now you get several templates with this, again, or with the instructions on them, so it shows you where to score. Then you've got your saucer, shows you what to do with that. You've got your teacup base, and you've also got your handle, okay? So you're getting all of those in there. So shop cup will get you that as the templates. Shop saucer will get you that as your SVG files, okay? Next one is your teapot. Now, if you're sitting there going, I'll never remember, I'll never be able to work that out, you don't need to. We've got instructions that you can print off or view on your computer. So don't panic. We've done all the hard work for you. We've thought it all through. Now, this one is a lot of templates, but it's brilliant. This is for your teapot. Now, you'll remember many moons ago, there used to be a trick, wasn't there, where you used a wire coat hanger and you had it suspended, and then you covered, so you had your teapot here suspended on the thick wire, and then you had all your flowers coming down the wire into the teacup, so you can suspend it and actually make an ornament out of it. But that as a gift is going to be brilliant, because again, you could put all sorts of different tea bags in there. It's great, isn't it? Isn't that fabulous? It's fun, isn't it? I do think sometimes we get a little bit stale, don't we, when we're just making cards again and again and again and again. Doing something dimensional is really cool. It's paper engineering, I like to call it. Now on this one, you're going to get all of these templates. Okay, so this is probably an afternoon project where you're going to draw around them, cut them out, score where you need to. So you've got all of these. I will advise you, if you're going to build when you get these home and you're going to make them, use the Tape Doctor tape, because it's strong enough to bond firmly afterwards, but you do have some wiggle room with that tape. And what I like to do is put tape on and a little bit of wet glue on top. So the tape grabs it first, and then the wet glue makes it stable because you don't want it falling apart. Also, it means that you can build it quicker because you're not waiting just for the wet glue to set. The other reason I would recommend the DIY Dr. Tape is because it's a tissue tape, so it's really fine. So it doesn't add bulk to those hinges. It's a really, really good tape, but unlike red liner tape, if you don't get it in the right place first time, you can peel it back. So it's a really good tape to use for things like construction. And I've done construction for years. It was my favourite thing. That's how Cutting Craftorium came to be in the first place. Because when I started working with Stephanie, she was like, what's your favourite thing to do? I was like, go in my craft room with flat pieces of card and come out with something that looks like that. I love that. And you learn a lot as well along the way. You learn how to look at shapes differently. So if you want the Teapot, Shop Pot will get you that one, or as an SVG file, Shop T will get you that for $6.99. Right, I'm just going to show you the instructions so you can see them, and then I'm going to give you the details of the bundles. So first of all, you can see your teapot, Stephanie's hands, and she's showing you exactly, words and pictures, how to build this together. The other tip I would give you, which is really important when you're building 3D items, is where you can see Stephanie putting the tape on there, make sure that your tape comes right over to that score line and it covers that tab. If you just put glue across the bottom and you don't wipe it across so it covers the whole area, this part here will come apart. So just make sure that you're using your tape or your glue, but make sure that it's completely covering that tab. Especially the front part of the tab isn't as important, but this part really is, because otherwise you'd get a gap. And you can see, so she talks you through it, and you've got lots of these instructions, so you can see really, really clearly how to build it, which is great. Most crafters are visual learners, but we also put the words in there, but in the simplest form, not for your benefit, but for our benefit as well. So you've got all of those. You've then got the instructions for the teacup and the saucer, and more, and more. And then you've also got the instructions for the shelf card as well. So they come as part of your download. So please don't worry thinking I want to have a clue where to start. You will. It's really quite obvious. Now then, next, we also have the artwork. Now, I believe that if you get the SVG files, you get the matte layers that go with them. If you buy the templates, this artwork becomes your matte layers. So you've got all of these beautiful pattern papers. Of course, you can use your own. Absolutely, you can use your own, but these are super pretty. And ditzy prints are really difficult to design because you get one little bit not quite in the right area and it sticks out like a sore thumb. You've got your papers in there, and then you've all got all these pieces. So you buy this as an item, shop artwork, $7.99, and this gives you all your mats and layers. What I would be tempted to do is make templates of these. So make templates, and then next time that you make it, you can then actually make it with your papers. So that makes sense, doesn't it? So you're getting all of this artwork for all your mats and layers, even down to the tiny, tiny little elements in there. And you're also going to get that one as well. So if we want the artwork, shop artwork, $7.99. Right, let's put the bundles on the screen now, Lewis, please, for the templates. Shop stencils will get you all of the instructions, your teapot, your teacup and saucer, your shelf card, and your cake box for $24.99 before your discount. Now, the reason this is a slightly higher price than normal is because there's a lot more Mylar involved. So we've had to allow for that. But actually, you know what? To get all of those for $24.99, that's cracking. So Shop Stencils will get you that. If you want them as SVG files, Shop SVG $19.99 will get you all of those templates. Right, I'm going to talk to you about this trimmer next, because this is on the show. And this is a really good way of cutting down those mats and layers because a lot of them are angular. On your shelf you've got the curve, but a lot of the rest of them are straight lines or diagonal lines. Now we brought out this trimmer a while ago, so it's a guillotine, it's a 5-in-1. So first of all you've got this, listen to that. There's something about that noise, isn't it? Now there is a gap. Ethan, I'm just going to lift this up. There's a gap there. That's meant to be there, okay? Because when you lift this up and you lift it right up, it will lock. Okay, so little fingers can't get in. And then you pull it to the side and you bring it down. It's a brilliant trimmer. Then you've got your finger guard here. This is your cutting edge. Okay, so as long as your lines are lined up to this, it will be a straight line. Okay, you've got your measurements going across here and you've got your diagonals on here, which is going to be really useful. But you'll also see that there's little feet at the top. That's because on the other side is your scoreboard. So if you drew out your template just in a faint pencil line, you can then line up your lines on here and then you can score it all on here. Now, also included, you've got this little blade here and it switches from a curvy line to a perforation line. So if you prefer a perforation, you can actually do that on here as well. Now, the tip I would give you when you're using something like this is always start with the blade away from you. Because if you watch my elbow as I pull this back, as I pull back, my elbow lifts, which means that I put less pressure on this part. If you start here and you put your elbow down, you can get that even pressure all the way up. Okay, so that's a little top tip for you. I learned that many years ago and it's served me well, that. Now also on here there's a little corner rounder. So you'll see there are two lines that come out of here. You slot your corner in there and it rounds the corner. You've got a little bin, this is super cute, there that pulls out so you can empty all your bits out. And then on the other end you have got an envelope maker board. Now there is also a downloadable instruction for this which makes it bigger so it's easier to see, but you can see there you've got gift boxes on one side and on the other side you've got envelopes, and you also get a scoring tool in there as well. So if you're in the market for a trimmer or a guillotine with a scoreboard, with your corner rounder, with your perforating line, with your wibbly line, with a scoring tool, with a gift box maker and an envelope maker, that's not 5-in-1, is it? That's more. Brilliant, right? Shop Jewel, $39.99. Right, now then, tape. We've been talking about this tape and we've been bringing you recently a huge bundle, which I'm sure is probably still available on the website. But I want to talk to you about this tape. Now, you know when a brown envelope drops through your door and you're like, oh, I really don't want to pay that bill, but you have to keep your household running. One of the most boring things you'll ever buy in craft is tape. So what I'd like you to do is buy it while we've got it on a cracking deal and stock up. And this is a cracking deal. These should be $9.99 per set, okay? And in each pack, you've got a 1/4-inch roll, a 1/2-inch roll, and a 1-inch roll. This is tissue tape, so it will tear if you want to tear it, but it's super fine. So if you wanted to make your own sheets of double-sided adhesive and use the 1-inch one, you really don't see the joins. So don't overlap it, but get it joined. You can make yourself your whole sheet of double-sided adhesive with this tape. And you might think, well, that's going to take loads of tape. It doesn't, but even if it did, you're getting 28 meters on that roll, 28 meters on that roll, and 28 meters on that roll, okay? So you've got 84 meters of tape just in one pack for $9.99. So today, you're going to buy that for $9.99, but you're not going to pay for that one, or that one, or that one, or that one. Because for all of that, you're going to pay $9.99 today. So rather than bringing you the 10 one, I'm sure that might be still available if you really want to stock up. We've halved it and we've halved the price, which is a cracking deal. We've had people buying this and selling it on at their craft groups, which is a great idea because then you get your money back, you make a bit of profit to buy some more, which is always good, right? So please pop that into your baskets. Shop tape, $9.99. Please don't miss out on that. We do have deep stocks of it, and I know it's a boring thing. And do you know what the best thing about this is? The backing is a dream to get off. You know, when you're fighting, even with finger lift tape, you've got to burn shit down, haven't you? That drives me crazy because then you're putting marks on your card and then you've got to get right into those little corners, otherwise it doesn't lift. Removing this is the best, honestly, and save some of the strips, because if you've got one of our glue guns and you've got the glitter sticks that went in, if you just make circles on the backing paper, the liner paper that comes off, it's got almost like that a waxy coating, so they'll just peel off. It's a brilliant product. And you know me, I wouldn't ever encourage you to spend your money on something that I wouldn't buy myself. And we all use this. First thing I did was peel the backing off, and I was like, yeah, all right, I'm sold. You can put your glitters on it. You can put your foils on it, because it's tape, so your foils will stick to the adhesive. You can even use your embossing powders with it as well. It's a brilliant product. Shop tape, $9.99. Right, Lily, are you ready?
Should we make a teapot?
Shall we make a teapot?
Teapot?
Not, do you want to build a snowman?
Do you want to make a teapot?
Do you want to make a teapot? Yes, please.
Yeah, why not? Just realised I've had mica on this mat, I've got sticky stuff on this mat. It's a lived-in glass mat, this one, that's for sure. Anyway, we'll start off with our teacup. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it in stages. Now, when I'm crafting anything like this, any sort of construction, I like to break it down into different parts. Just makes it a little bit easier to craft with. So first of all, we're going to start off with our lid. And what I've gone ahead and done is I've just taken that lovely paper download. Of course, you can be using any paper or cardstock to make these, but the designs are absolutely beautiful. And I've just taken one of those pattern papers that we're going to create our teapot from. Now, you do get all your mats and layers, so if you want to, you can create that main teapot from white card or coloured card and then pop your little mats and layers over the top. But for this one, we're just going to use that pattern paper as our main base. So we've got one sheet that we've hacked into a little bit already, but I'm just going to show you with one of the pieces how easy it is to draw around and cut out your templates. Now, when we bring in our templates, go on.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Lily. Do you know if any videos have been done with the envelope maker?
I'm not sure they have. And if not, we can have a look after the show. If not, I think we need to do one.
Yes, I agree, because Christine's asking if we can do one. We can't do it in this show, Christine, unfortunately, because we're not set up for that. But we'll try and make something happen with that next week, Lily. Yeah?
I'll have a look. We'll ask her. We'll talk to the people who know all the files and whatnot. And if not, we'll make sure we get one done for you.
Absolutely.
We can do the send the box, actually, if we've not got that. So that'll be on the to-do list for next week.
And one more.
Go on.
Donna Marie says, I have just got the new collection using my points for £11.79. So thank you, Highlight Crafts. Love being part of the club. You're very, very welcome.
That's why we love the club.
That, right?
£11, that's all right. We'll take a bit of that. Right, one of the things I love about these templates is that we label every single one up for you. So it's telling you in the centre there exactly what this piece is going to make. So it's your teapot lid base number 2. Also tells you with all those inner lines, whether it's a score line or a cut line. In this case, we can see they're all score lines. So all we're going to do is we'll take our template just onto the reverse of our piece of pattern paper, grab a pencil, make sure we've anchored that template into position so it's not going to move.
Of course. Stencil spray.
Yep, absolutely. Got there, Ed, and made a little bit of stencil
Sorry,
spray.
Lily, I'm zipping it.
You're on fire. No, Mel. No, I love it. Absolutely. This is what it's like when you get two crafters together. We get,
I know, right? Good,
rather quite excited. Yeah, it is. It is good to come up with all sorts of ideas. So all we're going to do is just draw around the edge of that stencil there. Now, when it comes to your score lines, what I always do, instead of drawing that whole length of the score line, I just pop a little mark on each end. So that way I know I've got a score between those 2 points. I don't necessarily need to mark out that whole score line.
Tip.
So we'll just go around. It just means it makes my life easier. I've got less to rub out at the end, that's all it is. So I may as well pass it on to you guys at home and make your lives a little bit easier as well.
Absolutely.
So you can see you've got your little design there onto your cardstock. So all I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to cut away all that excess card around the edge. Of course, I'll use that on my other pieces. And I'm just going to start off with these straight lines at the edges. So I'm just going to ignore all those little triangles to start with. And I'm just going to go all the way around the edge. So
you
just
could
use
do
my
this
scissors.
on your trimmer if you wanted to, couldn't you? If you haven't got the dexterity in your hands.
Come on then, let's do that. What am I doing? I've got it next to me. What am I doing? Come on then. Right, let's show you with your guillotine. So, love this. And you can tell it's mine because there's always a black mark down there, but I'll show you where that comes into play when we get onto the scoring. So
Lovely.
guillotine side even. We're just going to go around, and like Mel was telling you earlier, where you've got that edge of that metal, that's exactly where you're going to cut. So if you line up that pencil mark with the edge of that metal, press down but slightly inwards, and that's going to allow you to have that metal on metal contact every time you're working with your guillotine. And we're literally just going to go around and just cut down those lines. It's going to give you that perfect finish. And that crunch, Mel, oh, it's got to be one of our favourite noises in craft, that, isn't it lovely? Yeah. There you go. So that's a lot quicker and easier using your guillotine. So when it comes to our little triangles, I always find to get a neat finish, it's a little bit easier to do those after you've trimmed out that outline. So grab our pair of scissors. We're going to cut down one of those lines, but instead of turning your cardstock and your wrist being in a bit of an awkward angle, we're just going to go to the other side and then just trim up to that point there. And that's going to give you a much neater finish and a neater corner there without running the risk of tearing that cardstock or getting a little bit of a slightly not neat edge there. So go in from one angle, in from the other angle, and that just nicks out all those little triangles nice and easy. Rather than trying to cut it all in one go, I find it a lot easier and gives you a much neater finish by doing your outline first and then just going in with all those little triangles and taking those out. Just go around. I should probably have brought a bit of a bigger pair of scissors, but they shall do the job. They're sharp enough. These ones aren't gunked up, funnily enough, which is quite a rarity, it seems. I've picked out about 3 pairs of scissors this morning. Most of them are covered in double-sided tape, but oh well. Right, onto the scoreboard side of our trimmer. So literally everything is within that one piece of kit. I've just flipped it over and we're ready to get scoring. So the reason why I always pop a black mark onto my scoreboard, usually about roughly central, but it doesn't exactly matter where it is it allows us to see and visualise that one clear line. So lining up that top point there with that bottom point, I'm just aligning that onto that black mark, and that way I know that I'm keeping within that one score line without worrying about whether I'm accidentally going to go into another groove. And your scoring tool is included in your trimmer as well. So I'm just literally going around, rotating that as I go and scoring between those 2 points. It could not be much simpler when it comes to doing these templates. It's one of those you want to sit down, take a little bit of time, just enjoy the process. I'm very much like Mel. I do love my construction. I think there's something ever so satisfying about starting off with that blank flat piece of card and coming up with something that's really quite spectacular and very much 3D. And these are absolutely fabulous for that. So we just go around and do our final little score line, and we've got all of our scores then onto that piece there. And at this point, all we need to do is just go in and reinforce our score lines there. So you can see they've scored absolutely beautifully. So we're just going to go in and fold these upwards just like so. And that's going to give us that first part of our lid. So that's piece number 1. We're also going to need piece number 2, but of course don't forget all of these are labelled up on your templates, plus you have all your instructions included as well. And we're also going to need this piece here and this long strip, and those are the 4 pieces you will need for creating that lid of your teacup. So we're going to start off with this largest piece here, and what we've done ahead of time is we've just added a little bit of our tape. Now I will show you a little top tip later on in terms of getting all those angles nice and easily with your double-sided tape. But we've used the thinnest of your DIY Doctor, which is your 1/4 of an inch, which is perfect. You can see it's the absolute perfect size for all these tabs that you've got with these templates. What we've done is we've added our tape to all our tabs all around the outside, and then just to one of these tabs here, because what we're going to do is we're going to stick those 2 together just like so. But before we do that, before we stick those 2 pieces, we don't need 2 tabs on there. So one of these tabs that's going to overlap, we're just going to snip one of those away. So we just go ahead with our pair of scissors, and where that score line is, we're just going to cut that away. Now you could leave both tabs on, but by cutting it away, we'll just remove a little bit of bulk for us from our finished piece. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my pokey tool. You can see there how easily that tape carrier sheet lifts away. It is incredible. So many times we sit there for hour upon hour burnishing away and trying to get that backing off, but it's nice and easy.
Brilliant, isn't it, that tape?
Isn't it incredible? It's got to be the best double-sided tape I've ever used, that's for certain. It's fabulous. So that's that piece there. You've got your little dome. Could be a little hat. I won't wear it. But you've got that dome there ready to add your underneath piece to. So we need to, at this point, just fold in those tabs that go underneath, and we've got all of our tape on the underside. Now this is where this next piece comes in. Now this piece has no score lines, it's just a flat piece of your paper that you've cut out, and that's just going to go over the top of there, just like so. So what we're going to do first is going to remove all of our backing from our double-sided tape. This is where I'm going to bring in wet glue. Now, because we want to make sure that we've got this next piece that goes over the top, we want it to be lined up perfectly, we'll add a little bit of our wet glue just over where that double-sided tape is to give us that little bit of wiggle room. So we've got that bit of manoeuvrability to position that top piece exactly where we want it to sit. So all of our backing has been removed now. Just going to grab some of our bookbinding glue and just go over where we've got that adhesive exposed there. We're just going to add a little line of our glue, and the key thing, like Mel was saying earlier, when it comes to adding your tape, is to go as close to that score line as you possibly can to make sure that you've got that piece nicely anchored to that position. Then grab this piece. I'm not going to worry too much about getting it positioned perfectly first time, because I know I've got that glue there that's going to allow me to manoeuvre it into position. And I'm just going to focus on one point. Once I'm happy that that's lined up flush with the edge, I'm just going to move along to the next point, and I'm just going to keep on moving along that design until I'm happy with where that's positioned. And if I do need to lift that up and reposition that and re-stick it where it needs to be, I can absolutely do that by having our glue on the underside there. And what you should find is that that piece here, our octagon, is the same size as that piece on the top there. Then once you're happy, I tend just to turn that over, give it a little bit of a burnish, and that's that first piece of that lid done.
Brilliant.
Now this is where we bring in our next piece, and it's the detail within this is incredible. It really is. Every single last bit has been thought of. So this piece that we just scored and cut out, all I've done to that underside is I've added some tape in the centre part and tape onto the tabs as well, because what we're going to do is we're going to stick that onto the underside and line it up almost like a nesting die onto there. So first of all, we're going to peel back our adhesive just on that centre section. So we're going to ignore those tabs for now, and we're just going to focus on sticking these two pieces together. And once again, to make sure we're going to get this nicely lined up, we'll just go in with a little bit of our wet glue just over the back of that adhesive there, just to make sure we've got a little bit of manoeuvrability onto there.
Yeah, please don't think Lily's doing that because the tape isn't strong enough.
Absolutely
It
not.
absolutely is. It's just dot the I's and cross the T's. Belts and braces, my granddad would have said.
More than anything, Mel, it makes my life easier.
It does, absolutely.
We're all about that.
Yeah.
If we can get a lovely finished result a little bit easier, then why on earth not? So we've got our piece stuck onto there. So those two are nested nice and equally onto there. And then the final part for your lid, and that will be your lid, that first stage done, is this strip here. Now, before we start to stick this, all we're going to do is we're going to start teasing this piece. So we're starting to add a little bit of shape, starting to break down all those fibres, so that when we come to stick it to that piece, it's going to sit a lot more neatly, and you're not going to get any creases into your cardstock. Now the card that I'm using here, the card that I've printed onto, is our 250 GSM Pure Print, which is a lovely weight for your teapot. Of course, you can be adding extra strength if you're going in with your mats and layers, but I've found even with just your one sheet of 250, it holds its form absolutely beautifully.
Details for that are on your screen. Shop Pure will get you 75 sheets of that 250 GSM.
It's a fabulous cardstock, absolutely brilliant for all these templates you've got in the bundle. Whether you're using it as your plain white card, whether you're printing onto it, it is one of those crafty must-haves that we certainly could not be without. So once again, we've used our 1/4 inch of your DIY Doctor double-sided tape onto these tabs, and you can see that fits absolutely beautifully. I'm just going to fold those inwards, and we're going to grab this piece here. I'll do this without the glue so you can see how wonderfully it's still going to stick. Take one end and just press that, so it's going to be flush with the bottom of this piece here, so it's right up against that, and we're just going to stick and press down one tab at a time. Once we're happy with how that's stuck, we're just going to start to feed that round, so making sure all of those tabs are nicely adhered and just checking that it's still flush with the bottom of that piece that we're sticking it onto, and just literally feeding that round. So not rushing it, not trying to stick it all at once, just one section at a time, just pinching it and smoothing that round, so it's going to sit beautifully onto all our tabs, and it's just that lovely finishing touch that makes this look so professional, so beautifully finished off. So if you are gifting this, it's going to be absolutely incredible for a gift. And that little section there, because we've not got any adhesive left on the tabs, I'm just going to bring in my wet glue and just add a little bit of wet glue to that bottom section there, and just give that a minute to grab. With it being a wet adhesive, it will just take a few seconds for it to grab and hold. But you can see there how easy it is to create your lid. Isn't it absolutely beautiful? Every single last detail has been taken care of, and you can see there, once you do it in stages, it's nice and easy to put together.
Lovely, thank you, Lily.
You're very welcome.
I'm going to do a recap now and then we'll come back and do the main body of the teapot. Yvonne says the tape is amazing. I have bought my second lot on Wednesday, even though I still have loads from the first buy. At that price, it would be rude not to. It is a deal and a half, that, isn't it? It's not buy one, get one free. It's not buy one, get two free. It's not buy one, get three free. It's buy one and you get five packs. Brilliant time to stock up. Also, it's really good for wrapping your presents at Christmas. That, brilliant. Right, let's have a recap, shall we, as we go down this counter. So first of all, your lovely cake box. So you've got your cake box, opens at the top so you can fill it with lots of treats. I would use this with as your trick-or-treat box as well. Decorate it with some of your Halloween characters. Maybe you're going to decorate it with the Halloween stickers that you got, which is fabulous. Also, you could make a whole cake if you wanted to and have different treats in each one. That'd be lovely for Christmas. If you did a whole cake round like that, glued them together, and then every single box had a different sweet treat or a savoury treat inside. So if you want the physical templates for that, it's Shop Cake and it's $8.99. Now, what Lily's done this morning is cut the smallest and the largest of the SVG files. Now, you do get your mats and layers with this as well. If you want to turn those perforation lines into score lines, I've shown you how to do that before on a Tuesday show. I will recap that for you because I'll get this put on Tuesday. But if you don't like perforations, we can change those to score lines in Canvas Workspace. Shop Slice will get you that one for $6.99, but we do have a deal for all of them. This card shape, I think, is fabulous. And I love cards like this because you've got lots of places to decorate. And I really like that. You could actually use that as a toadstool shape as well, couldn't you? Yeah, if you just rounded round your corners on your corner rounder.
Of course.
There you go. That'd work. But how clever is that? Look, it just stands up like that. And if you've got the Snowflakes and Song books this morning, your whole choir could stand on that. Brilliant, isn't it? Love that card. Shop Shelf will get you the templates for $8.99 to be able to make that. Or Shop Card will get you the digital SVG files. Now then, teacup and saucer. This is great, isn't it? Look how lovely this is. Isn't that fabulous? So maybe you're having an afternoon tea out and you want to use this as a little memento of that, because you could put your pictures around it if you wanted. You can make it much bigger if you want to on your scan and cut, so you could have a big one. And you also get the templates for the saucer as well, super easy to put together. Shop Cup will get you the physical templates, and Shop Saucer will get you the SVG files. Now, what do we need to go with a cup of tea? We need a teapot. Look at that, listen, it's really sturdy. But you take the lid off, and inside, you could put some really cool little treats in there, couldn't you? In fact, you could put your invitation for the afternoon tea in there. Maybe you're going to do this as a Christmas gift, and you put an IOU. In fact, you could make a little scroll that goes through the handle, and it could be IOU, an afternoon tea. You do that a lot with your sister, don't you, Lily?
I do, yes.
I love that. When I was following you, when you left and then came back, in between, I was following Lily, and every time I saw a picture, it was you with an afternoon tea. I was like, good girl.
Lovely. Either crafting or having afternoon tea.
Crafting, two together. Brilliant. Yeah. Now, there was an old technique where you could attach like an opened up coat hanger or thick wire. So you balanced that on the wire, and then as the tea came out, you filled that wire with flowers, so it looks like it was pouring flowers into the teacup. That's what Stephanie wants to do with her when she does hers. Yeah. She's like, I have to do that because it's super cool. And then it becomes an ornament in your home, doesn't it? Which is great. So if you want the templates, and there's a lot of templates for the teapot, which is why it's slightly more in cost than normal because we've had to use more Mylar. Shop Pot will get you the templates, and Shop Tea will get you the SVG files. Now, you also get all the instructions for this as well, pictures and words which we like, don't we? Most of
yeah.
us are visual learners, as crafters, as creatives, but you've also got the written instructions in there as well. Stephanie's doing them for you. So you've got all of these. Now she's using a red liner tape because these were done before we got the Tape Doctor. Your Tape Doctor's brilliant. It's thinner. It's a tissue tape, so it's thinner than your red liner, and it's also more forgiving. So I would absolutely recommend the tape. If I'm doing anything with Digital Craftorium now, I use that tape. It's brilliant, and the backing comes off so easily. If you're spending more time trying to get the backing off your tape instead of crafting, treat yourself to that tape. It's fabulous. You get all the instructions for the teacup and the saucer as well, and then you also get the instructions for your shelf card. The cake box, I mean, it's the easiest thing to put together. It literally is the easiest thing to put together because there's only 2 parts. And if you always remember when you're doing construction that a tab will always go to a straight line, you won't go wrong, which is fabulous. Right, let's talk about the artwork that you can also purchase to go along with this. So you've got your printables that you can cut all your templates out of. These lovely, really pretty ditzy prints in here. These would also make great wallpaper if you've got a doll's house.
Oh, they would, wouldn't they?
Or even a carpet.
Oh, yeah.
Be good, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They're fabulous.
Oh, your blinds out the
Oh, your blinds, yeah. Just literally use your scoreboard and concertina with your trimmer, and then you can put a little bit of string through and make your own Roman blinds. Love that. That's what I love, that detail. You're also going to get all your mats and layers as pieces of artwork. I would recommend you make templates out of those. It only needs to be out a card, and then you've got all your mats and layers in there as well. You saw Lily using the 5-in-1 trimmer. We've also got that on the show for you. So cutting down with the guillotine, flipping it over and doing all your scoring. That saved a lot of time, didn't it? Brilliant. And also it's accurate. And the one thing about construction is you need that accuracy. So using a trimmer is brilliant. And then also your tape. Don't miss out on that. That is brilliant. Also, we do have the pure print on the show for you as well. This is what Lily used to print onto to then make them. It's 250 GSM, so it's perfect for your construction. And if you ever find that, especially on the shelf card, that you're struggling to get a thicker card through those slits, just widen the slit slightly. That's all you need to do. Widen the slit slightly. That's not easy to say.
Yeah, be careful.
Where's some fleurs flower forming from?
Oh,
now then, tape. Please get this in your basket. Even if you have already got this, this is brilliant. Now, we've just had a whoosh of people joining us. So welcome to Highlight Crafts. If you're brand new to us, please put a message in the comments underneath the video and we can give you a great big hug, which is our Highlight Craft welcome. And before you purchase anything from us, please go to Highlight Crafts and open an account. It's free to do so, which you would expect, but it automatically and for free makes you a Highlight Club member. And that means that you get 5% discount when you first start with us on all your orders. You also get 5 loyalty points for every £1 that you spend. And on a basket spend over £35, we'll pay your postage for you so that you don't have to, which is great, isn't it? Love that. We are live every day, apart from Sunday. You can type live into the comments underneath the video and we can send you notifications. If you follow us on our social media platforms, you'll see the schedules that go out every day, and you can shop ahead from midnight. So if you want to get ahead of the game. And what we do in these shows is we bring you information, education, inspiration. We're incredibly reactive because we can speak to you. It's almost like we're in your craft room or you've come in our craft room. And we have a lot of fun here. So if you want crafters who know what they've been doing, I think we worked out we've got over a century of experience just between myself, Diane and Stephanie. And every person that comes behind this counter is a crafter. So that does make a really big difference. First of all, when we're designing product, but secondly, when we're demonstrating it. And speaking of that, I need to do the bundles. The bundle for the templates, if you want all of them, is shop stencils, £24.99. Imagine buying those as dies. There'd be a 1 in front of that $24.99, right? And if you want the SVG versions, it is shop SVG $19.99. Right, Lily? Shall we finish off our... Yeah, let's do that.
Absolutely. So, little story when it comes to our teapot. So, any time that we design our products, and this goes back to us all being crafters here, our lovely Becky that designs all of our stencils and our templates, she always brings them through to us a lot in creative and asks us to test them and have a little look and give our feedback. Now, originally this stencil itself was one long stencil, so it looks something a little bit like that. But what we said is we wanted it 2 separate stencils. So that means that you don't have to have A3 cardstock. Both stencils will fit onto your A4. It makes a massive difference.
Right, so Pamela Jones has just messaged in. She says, just checked, a DIY store sells that tape for £8.79. And then she's messaged back in and said, but not for 5, for 1. There you go, there's your deal.
I think they call
Thank you, Pamela.
a mic drop.
It is, it's one of those.
Apparently so. So we're told. Anyway, let's get back to our teapot, shall we? So I've started adding some of my tape to these tabs, but just to show you that little technique when you've got your chamfered edges like we've got at the bottom here. So all of the tabs that you've got on both pieces, you just want to make sure you're adding your tape to every single one of those. But let's just add some to this bottom section here. So I'm going to start off making sure my tape's right up against that score line there. Grab my scissors and I'm just going to cut that at an angle. So that's going to fit perfectly. Then for our next one, we're just going to flip that the other way around, and you can see then that angle will match that angle beautifully. So it's just enabling you to get your tape pretty much all over that tab.
Now, I do that slightly different, Lily.
Oh, go on.
So I'd put the tape down completely.
Yeah.
Probably give it a firm press down.
Yeah.
Turn it over.
Oh.
Because then you can see the angle.
There you go.
And then you can cut your tape, because you can see it now. You've got a line to cut against.
There you go.
So you find your way. Everybody has their own ways.
Absolutely, we do.
I haven't done a lot of construction. Can you also type win into the comments, please? Because we're going to give you away. I think we'll do points, Lewis.
2 points.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah, we do like points.
We like points.
We do.
Because points means a treat.
We do, absolutely. Right, so these 2 pieces, all we're going to do is just join them together. So I've just removed the backing from that tab there. And where we've got that score line, we're just lining that up with the edge of that piece of card, making sure our 2 score lines, top and bottom, continue along that same path. And that's our piece all joined up together. Then our other tab at the end here, we're going to do pretty much the same with this one. And notice that I'm only peeling back the tabs that I need to, rather than peeling all that adhesive tape back. I'm just peeling back the bits that I need to, sticking those. Otherwise, you just end up with all bits sticking to each other. And it's a bit of a sticky mess, which is exactly not what we want. So then that forms that into that cylindrical shape.
Brilliant.
And then we're just going to start to reinforce some of these score lines, which is just going to give us a little bit of a helping hand when it comes to sticking all this together. So they're going to go in as a mounting fold at the top there, just like so. We'll start off with our base. So these are just going to go downwards. And you can see we've got all those tabs there, and all it is a case of doing is sticking tab to straight lines. So we'll just go ahead with our pokey tool, and I do find it a lot easier to use your pokey tool just to get that backing off.
Now, what you just did there shows you how good that tape is. Normally, you would have to have that flat to be able to burnish it down, to be able to take that backing off. What Lily's done there in mid-air is literally just pulling that tape off. That shows you the quality.
Absolutely, it does.
Please don't miss out on this tape, because there will be a point where we run out.
Well, yeah.
And we don't want you running out. So stock up. It doesn't have a shelf life. Just don't put it in somewhere really warm, because any tape would dry out. But it's brilliant. It's also really good with your foils. So if you've got your foil pen and you've got all those scraps left, or you're using the foils that work with the laser printer and you've got all those bits left, this tape is brilliant for that.
Yeah, absolutely is. And Stephanie's favourite technique, what does she call it? Her sticky string?
Sticky string.
Sticky string, yeah. She loves a bit of a sticky string. There you go, you can do all that and so much more. Now, once you've peeled back your back and you've stuck it, I always just give it a little bit of a burnish just to make sure you're warming up that glue and it's going to stick beautifully.
Lovely.
Now on the base here, we've got all those tabs, and that's where your extra piece comes in. And of course, don't forget, all these pieces in template form are labelled up so you know exactly which piece is for which. And all we're going to do, once again, in mid-air, so we've got all of our pieces stuck here, so it's probably the least ideal scenario for peeling back your backing, but you can see it's still coming off an absolute treat. I mean, I couldn't be making it much more difficult for myself, could you? I don't think. We're on a half-built teacup here in mid-air One hand holding it, one
look
hand
how
not.
good that is.
Isn't it fabulous? And once again, it's going back to making our lives easier. We love to spend time, an hour upon hour, on the stuff that we love to do. So things like colouring, fussy cutting, I could spend hour upon hour on. Things like peeling back the backing off tape. I'd rather not. Don't know about you guys at home, but it's not really the fun part of crafting, is it? So I always think if we can save time on the boring bits, then we can spend more time on the bits that we love.
You've got about 4.5 minutes, Lily.
I think we should be all right, you know.
I think you'll be all right.
Yeah.
I think we've timed this to perfection.
You have little faith. Right. Turn it over, and then my top tip is get yourself a long tool rather than trying to get your hand in there and it being a bit awkward. And then just burnish your tabs from the inside, just using a tool like that, rather than trying to do it from the base, because obviously you've not got that flat surface there. Just stick something in there that will burnish those tabs, and then you'll be good to go. And it's pretty much the same sort of idea on the top here. So all of your tabs, just stick in those. So just folding that inwards so that your score line sticks flush with the edge of that cut edge there. And it is really quite easy to build this. I know it looks like quite a large, almost quite daunting project, because it is so impressive when it's finished. But you can see here, it's just a process of doing all your cutting, all your scoring, and then just starting to stick all your individual pieces together. And it is such a fun project to put together. This is going to be brilliant. All those different pattern papers you've got, maybe all your other downloads that you've been collecting in your crafty stash. All your coloured card, of course, you can be using that as well if that's what you prefer to use. But all these lovely papers within the download do work an absolute treat for these designs. Of course, you could go in once this is all built and start to ink the edges a little bit. If you want more of a vintage style teapot, you could ink all those score lines and give it a little bit more of an aged look and feel. But just to show you that technique, this is how we're going to pop it together for this one. Now the top bit here, we've got all these mini little tabs. Before I start sticking any of these, I'm just going to fold them so they're all on the inside. Otherwise, if you start sticking a few on the inside, by the time you get to the ones at the end, it's a bit more tricky to actually tuck them under. So we're just going to tuck all those inside, and then once again, not the ideal scenario for doing our tape, but DIY Doctor will be absolutely fine in terms of this. So just peel back your backing of that mini tab, and that just sticks. And once again, it's that detail, it's that extra layer at the top. Rather than it stopping at that section there and having that flat edge, it's that lovely finishing touch that's going to match up with that lid absolutely beautifully. So just going around, peeling back all your backing, and then all you need to do to finish it off is pop your lid on. And we've got a spout and we've got a handle as well. And that is a teapot made pretty much start to finish, which I think is absolutely fantastic.
That's brilliant, Lily.
And it's the same whether you're using your SVGs, it's exactly the same process. Obviously, you're having it cut out using your scan and cut, but it's the same process of building it together. Tell you what I would love to do with this, Mel. I'd love to make a miniature teacup, a teapot using your scan and cut.
Yeah,
that would be super cute, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah.
It absolutely would.
The only restrictions on doing that is if your tabs get too fine. But you do have that 1/4 inch tape in there as well. And if you ever need to cut tape down, like Lily was talking about all those scissors being really sticky, if you dip your scissors in water first, it stops them sticking.
Yes. As long as you remember to do it, which is always the thing.
I find the best thing to clean your scissors with is either isopropyl alcohol or lighter fluid.
Oh, wow, okay.
That works.
Blimey.
Bit harsh, but it works.
But it works.
It does work. It's a solvent, so it breaks it down.
Absolutely,
and then you just manipulate the topping, don't you?
Yeah.
This is where you take your time, okay?
So that needs a little bit of folding, but just to show you how your spout and your handle would go on. So your handle is a folded piece, so you take your strip, you're just going to fold it in half. You do have the score line, of course, marked on your template for you. You literally just glue that in half, just so that you've got that double-sided print on both sides. Once again, you'll just go and break down all those fibres, and that will literally just stick down. I'm going to bend out that bottom section, and of course this is all in your instructions for you, and that will just glue onto the edge a little bit like that. And then when it comes to your spout, it's similar. You're just going to glue that in half, so just a little bit of your adhesive just at the top of your spout there. It looks a bit like a bird's head, that, doesn't it?
It does.
Random, but that's just going to go at the top there. Oh yeah, it could be, couldn't it? Seeing all sorts of shapes. That's what happens when you break the world down into shapes, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
As you very well know.
I do.
A little bit of your tape onto that folded section there, and that's just going to go at the front. So pretty much finish off. But there you go. A teapot.
Fabulous.
Easy as that.
Thank you for that. Jacqueline Ward says also it's not static by the look of it. No, it's not.
Thank goodness
Honestly,
for that.
Jacqueline, it's brilliant. Treat yourself to some of that.
Yeah, you'll love it.
Fabulous. I use it all the time now. It's just brilliant. The number of times when our design team have sent in cards in the past as samples, as demos And I'm like, oh, I can't take that tape off. I'm just going to put wet glue on. That tape will solve your problems. Right, my lovelies, I'm going through that wall. You do not want to miss this next show. Poppies, Clay, and Amanda. See you on the other side of this.
Giveaway.
Oh, giveaway, quick then. We're 1
many
second.
points?
200.
Takes its time, doesn't it?
Mandy
Monday,
Wilson.
woo!
Well done, Mandy. Keep an eye out for a message from us and we'll get those sorted.